that is not the road history has marked out for us. There is a Chinese curse which says, may he live in interesting times. Like it or not, we live in interesting times. They are times of danger and uncertainty, but they are also the most creative of any time in the history of mankind. And everyone here will ultimately be judged, will ultimately judge himself on the effort he has contributed to building a new world.
Hey, listen up, everybody. Got a little special thing I'd like to do tonight.
I made a lot of movies in my day.
Play a little song for you.
Some that you recognize, some that you probably hardly even heard of. But in those movies, we've done a lot of big things. We've killed vampires, even flying vampires. We've killed aliens from outer space and saved the world from supernatural evil geniuses coming to take out our planet. We've slain a lot of imaginary dragons. But it's time to do more. It's time to do more. I want to impact you. I want to impact your children and your children's children. I know this sounds grandiose, but I want to change the world with your help. And we can do this. We can make a difference in these interesting times. All right, everyone asks me why World War V? I mean, everyone, of course, they've heard of World War I and World War II. We submit that World War III was the battle between Soviet Russia, NATO, the United States, which we won. World War IV was the battle for the White House. We lost that one. Russia has their own puppet sitting in the Oval Office. So now, I thought, World War V. That's the battle. That's my call to intellectual arms so that we can fight any type of propaganda, so that we can fight people that are trying to dumb down our society, to make us less open to intellectual thought, to make us less able to address these interesting times.
I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
We've talked about this, where we live in times where the leaders of our country are encouraging the uneducated, are telling us that the facts aren't facts and the truth isn't the truth. And they're encouraging an anti-intellectual society. Now, I don't need to tell you what the problem is with that. We all know what the problem is with that. But there is a positive side to this. Let me read once again from Robert Kennedy's famous quote, all right, because it's important. Remember in that quote when he said about the interesting times, and he said that these are dangerous times, times of danger and uncertainty. They are also the most creative of any time in the history of mankind. That's the times we live in. And that, this metaphor that we're using, this is what draws these intellectuals to these interviews. They take their time off of their day, out of their careers, from their family, because they know we live in interesting times, times of danger and uncertainty, all right, but the most creative times of our lives. And it's never been needed more than now.
Damn it! My life has value! So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
All right. I didn't come upon the idea for this web series lightly. In fact, I'm not a very bright person, so it took me a while before it really hit me upside the head. I came back to Cleveland to see my kids, and it wasn't the city that I remember when I went to college here. I went to college here at Case Western Reserve University, higher learning. The city had 1 million people in it. It was thriving. It had more attorneys, per capita than any other city in the world, more corporate headquarters than any other city in the world. It was growing, it was thriving. I got divorced, I left, I come back, and it's a dump. It's terrible. It's as if Sherman marched to the sea during the Civil War and just burned the city, the factories that are closed, the people that are depressed, the opioids. It's not the city, that thriving city that I remembered. And that got me thinking of all the failed civilizations we've known in the past, whether it's the Mayans, the Roman Empire, the Egyptian pyramids and all that. And I saw all these empty factories, and I just could not help but put two and two together, that this is a failing civilization. And I wanted to address that.
But first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Like it or not, we live in interesting times.
Stick your head out of the window, open it, and stick your head out and keep yelling and yell, I'm as mad as hell. I'm not going to take this anymore. Just get up from your chairs right now. Go to
Where are you going? I don't want to see anybody's yelling.
open it and stick your head out and yell and keep yelling.
I'm not gonna take it anymore!